I just finished Marathon Surfer Slam, and the more I played it, the more I realized something important. This game isn't trying to compete with Arena Breakout Infinite, it's trying to be its own thing. And that's exactly why I still prefer ABI. And this is not because Marathon is bad, not because it failed to meet my expectations, but because it's evolving into something that to me doesn't feel like an extraction shooter anymore. Let's talk about it. Marathon has its identity. It knows exactly what it wants to be. The story and the atmosphere, the music, it sets up a bigger universe that's beyond what we've seen so far. The runners being biocybernetic shells piloted by a human consciousness, that in itself creates an amazing setting, a theme, and environment. It's not just a sci-fi spectacle. It's a conceptual hook that makes you curious about the story of the game's universe. And mechanically, there are smart choices for the game as well. First off, there is no leaning mechanic where we see fights become more about aim and positioning and no exploitation of cover. You have the overheating system which controls movement without relying on a traditional stamina bar where small mistakes can carry real consequences. We have contracts and faction upgrades that encourage teamwork and a preference of your playstyle. And runner shells have their own variety and their own class, which adds choice and diversity. I even had moments where coordination with a teammate during a faction contract really mattered. The timing, the coverage, and the resource management became so critical. It's clear as day that Marathon isn't confused. It's fully committed to what it wants to be. But commitment doesn't always equal the right alignment. Marathon embraces a heavy factor in style. Loud color palettes, cinematic visuals, unconventional character designs. The cinematics are overwhelming, but to some players that might actually be okay. But for me, it pulls me out of the immersion. I've always gravitated towards grounded tactical extraction shooters because you have plausible combat scenarios, gear that feels earned and realistic. You have tension that comes from your decision making. And that's why games like Escape from Tarkov or ABI, they hit really differently. In Marathon, you choose your hero, but with games like ABI, you become the hero. And this is the biggest philosophical difference. In Marathon, you select a runner shell, a predefined identity with hero-like abilities, you add a few armor pieces and some weapons, nothing too fancy, and your role is already set. With ABI, you build your own loadout, where every decision you're making, from gear to positioning to communication, and those decisions shape who you are as an operator. Every raid, every contract, every engagement becomes a test of your skill and decision making. There is one firefight that I remember in ABI where a single mistake or sense of hesitation cost me a high value elimination, and that kind of tension doesn't exist in the same way in Marathon, where the hero identity is guiding your role in your raids. In Marathon, you play as a hero, but in ABI, you are the hero, and that tension feels more real and more meaningful. And honestly, Marathon sometimes feels conflicted about what audience it's catering to. You have casual-friendly elements such as ping markers, auto-loot sorting, visible crosshairs, but also has hardcore elements such as mandatory wipes, there's no secure case, a faster than expected time to kill, and if you look at it, it's trying to be both casual and hardcore at the same time. And sometimes that friction shows immediately. The AI to player ratio also shifts the tension. During my time playing the server slam, I ran into more UESC, the enemy AIs, than actual players, which changes the dynamic. Extraction shooters are exciting when unpredictability comes from the human players, not just the AI. The maps for me are structurally solid, but there's a lot of visual noise. You have bright color palettes, unnecessary clutter, and these can make firefights hard to read, especially with the high TTK involved. These factors make fights end before you even realize it. The style that Marathon committed to is bold, but in all honesty, visibility matters when every bullet counts. And this is where my preference becomes philosophy. ABI delivers grounded tension. This is where the economy matters, the communication matters, and every choice carries weight. In ABI, every raid feels earned. Every squad win feels personal. In comparison, Marathon is exciting, stylized, and cinematic. Whereas ABI is stressful, tactical, yet the rewards are worth it as you earn them. And that reward you earn from tension, it's the thing that keeps me coming back. It's the loop that drives me to enjoy extraction shooters. And honestly, it's not about which is better or which is worse. So Marathon didn't change my mind. It just clarified my taste. On the table was bold stylization or grounded realism, pre-built heroic characters or your own heroic identity. For me, I'll always lean towards grounded tactical shooters, and that makes Arena Breakout Infinite my home. The clarity that Marathon showed makes me respect the game even more. These games may have different philosophies, different playstyles, and different lanes, but for the tactical player in me, grounded experience will always be the winner. Those were my thoughts and I'd like to know yours. Did you get to try Marathon during its server slam? What do you think about the game? How does it compare to ABI or any other extraction games? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe if you are new here, and feel free to join my live streams. Thank you so much for your time and I hope to see you guys in the next video.